I'm going to talk to you about stigma. That's where we're going to focus tonight. So 46% of America has identified that they've got a relationship with somebody that struggled with addiction in the last year. It's half of America. We've done 2 different studies, Pew Research and the Gallup poll. Both came out at 46%. That's pretty amazing to me. Okay. 200,000 people die every year from suicide, drugs, and alcohol. That's a big number. 200,000 people dying. You know, there's been a study in the past about human psychology and how understanding and feeling emotion for numbers that big is really difficult. But if we see the Time magazine cover with the African child starving, bloated stomach, flies, close to death, we all have immediate compassion. We're going to help right then. It's overwhelming what we want to do for that child. But I say 200,000 people, it's hard to comprehend. But if any of you have been to a Clemson or Carolina game this year, you understand how many people that is. That's stadium times 2. The number that blows me away is of the 200,000 that die every year, 46,000 are from suicide. There are 1.7 million suicide attempts in America every year. 3% are successful. 1.65 million people try to kill themselves every year and don't. That's craziness. You have 200,000 people passing away, impacting how many people? If I die tonight, what's it impact? My family, coworkers, 7, 8, 9, 10 people? Call it 10 people. So that's 200,000 people impacting 2 million people. If we've got a loved one that attempts suicide and lives, we're impacted. Right? It makes a mark. And there are countless hundreds of thousands of overdoses every year where people fortunately are revived. Now, if you think about this, we're talking 10 million, 15 million people every year impacted by a death, attempted suicide, or overdose. That means statistically there is absolutely no doubt it's happening to everybody in this audience. During your lifetime, somebody you love will die from one of those things, attempt suicide, or overdose. Statistically impossible for it not to happen if we don't change this. That irritates me. And we've been fed a line of shit for so long from Hollywood and the press that people have to hit bottom, go to treatment for 28 days, and then come back and everything's good. And there is absolutely nothing further from the truth on every part of that. First of all, not everybody has to hit bottom. I know plenty of people that have not completely wrecked their lives without AA, without treatment, without anything, have gotten sober. It can happen. And this myth of 28 days is ridiculous. I've been through treatment 4 times, I know. It could take 30 days, it could take a year. It's individual. It's not possible to paint this with a broad brush for everybody. But the point is, we've got to make a change. So much of the issue with this disease is tied to stigma. We have been told that alcoholics are laid up on the side of the street in, paper bag. Image of the junkie, the drug addict. And that's the perception we've gotten. That's the way we think of it. I know it's how I think of it. Even though I've been through a lot, I still will judge. We have medicines today to help people that are struggling. Okay? There's medicine today, naltrexone, Vivitrol, gabapentin, Camprol, Antabuse, all of these medicines available to help people that are struggling. But we go to the doctor for our annual physical. How many beers do you drink? Oh, I drink 2 beers. You do any drugs? No way. So the person that is in position to help you medically, you lie to them. At least I did, and I know a lot of people that do. Shouldn't judge all of y'all, sorry. Maybe you guys don't drink. The point is, there's a lot of help available. But we treat addiction in a very different way than we do other chronic diseases. Imagine having cancer, okay? You go to the oncologist, he's like, stage 2, no big deal. You're a lifetime smoker. We need to wait till it's stage 4 before we start treating you with chemo. You got to learn your lesson from smoking, dude. Figure it out. High blood pressure? Nah, man, I know how you live. We got to wait till you have a heart attack. Then you'll learn. Stop partying, slow down. Diabetes? I see you've been eating donuts. We're going to wait till we cut that leg off. That'll teach you. Stop eating sugar. Think about that, though. It's crazy. It's literally the same thing. Those are chronic diseases. Addiction is a chronic disease. Because of the stigma, we treat it separately. That's what has to change. We are all empowered to make a difference there. I mentioned I've gone through treatment 4 times. I'm a lifetime user of drugs and alcohol. And my story is a pretty typical one, I think, where over decades of drug and alcohol abuse, my family finally intervened. I went to treatment. The light bulb went off, and hey, I kind of figured this out. And I had a period of 5 years of sobriety. Very productive during that time. Became CEO for the 4th time of a fast-growing technology company here in town. And about 6 weeks after my mom died of cancer, I relapsed. And relapse isn't really like an event. It's sort of a process where it begins and can continue. And that's what happened with me. And during the years of 2016 and particularly 2017, my life was a train wreck. Total disaster. I wound up in a hotel right over there for a couple of days. I put as much cocaine and booze in my body as I possibly could, and I had a loaded 38 the whole time. And I promise you, killing myself made good sense. Like how I did not kill myself, I don't know. So I went off to treatment. This one was a state licensed mental institution in Georgia. I got fired while I was there, well deserved too. Stayed 12 weeks. The last week at this place is we're sort of transitioning out. We're helping new patients transition in, kind of get them comfortable. And something we do is go down to a local detox facility. This place was called Anchor Hospital. It's a public detox facility. We would host AA meetings there in our last week. And Anchor, it's like the last stop on the bus stop, okay? I mean, if you're an Anchor, that is rock bottom. You are homeless, obviously no insurance, probably suffering from severe traumas and mental illness. And I will never forget hosting a meeting there. And there was this kid, he was like, I don't know, call it 25 years old. And just long, stringy hair and face, just clear he does meth, teeth messed up. And he had these jailhouse tattoos. I just remember that so clearly. And he was traumatized. And after we had our meeting, I walked up to him. I was like, dude, what's up? How you doing? And I went to hug him. And I asked him, I said, what happened? And he kind of looked at me and said, man, my mom shot me up when I was 13. And all at once it hit me, which is, by the luck of the cards, like that ain't me. That could be anybody. Because I can tell you that kid did not want to get shot up by his mom with meth when he was 13, and he damn sure didn't want to be homeless when he was 14. But to this day, when I see somebody on the street, I will judge them immediately. I still do it even though I live this stuff. But what I know is I can see that kid. I've got that image, and I've got compassion for him. I care about that kid. He needs compassion. He needs love. He does not need judgment. My takeaway and my ask from you is that in those moments when you see folks struggling, try to find a different perspective. Thanks.